In this video, I will show you how to configure a package that uses the COZYROC Dataflow Task Plus to map the columns and load data from a fixed width flat file to a SQL Server table. This is the source file we'll be using for the package, and it contains 6 columns, and those first items are the column names, and you can see the spaces in here, the padding, and then all of the data follows, and it's all in a single row. So the only way that our package can tell where each column begins and ends is based on the width. And our widths are defined here in order, so I'm just going to copy that to make it easier to set up my variable. And this is where we're going to write the data to in this table called FW no space automobile inventory. Here you can see this table, the way the columns are defined. They're varchar, and then each one has a specific width, which is exactly the same as the column width in the source file. So here we are in Visual Studio, and I'm going to start by defining my variables. So the first one I'm going to call columns count var, and it's going to be a string. And the value is going to be 6 because I have 6 columns total. And then I'm going to define another variable. This one is called column width var. So this is where we're actually going to specify in order the width of each column. So I just copied that from that notepad file. So that does specify the width for 6 columns there. And then we'll set up our flat file connection manager for the source. And need to browse to find the file with the correct file name, which is automobile inventory fw.txt. Here we need to change the format to fixed width. And we leave column names in the first data row checked, and then we go look at the columns. You can see them all here, and then we can go to advanced. We're not even going to set up the columns because we will be removing them all and just putting in a single thunk column in the flat file source component. So I'm going to just close this now and drag the Dataflow Task Plus onto the canvas. And now we'll go over to the Dataflow canvas, and we'll start with the flat file source here. There it is. Be using this to read data from fixed width flat file. And I'll double click on it to open the editor. Here, if we preview it, it has all the column information shows up in one big column that's 60 characters in width. So we'll close that. And here we go to columns, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Click OK. And now I'm going to right mouse click on that component and select Remove Static Columns. So it's going to take out that one big column and just put a thunk column in its place. I'm going to define the connection manager for our table. Use the OLE DB. And the table is in 2023 tutorials. Select that. And then we'll get the OLE DB Destination component and drag that onto the canvas. Connect the blue arrow between the source and destination. And this we're going to use to write data to table. And I'll double click on that to open it so we can choose the name of the table. And the one we're using now is FW no space automobile inventory. And that no space in there, the reason it has that name is the column names don't have any space in them. I have tried working with a table that actually had padding characters in there to match the width of the data columns, and that didn't go so well. So need to make sure that there are no padding characters in the column names so that Dataflow Task Plus can map them properly. And if we go look at mappings, of course that's not going to work because we got to get rid of all of these column names. So I right mouse click on this component now and I select remove static columns, and now it's all good. It maps the thunk column to the thunk column. And now we'll go back to the control flow. Stay tuned to see how I complete the configuration of the package and execute it.
Do you need to sort large amounts of data that can't be sorted using the standard sort? How many times has the standard sort component failed you when sorting more than 2 gigabytes of data? With COZYROC's Sort Plus component, you can sort any amount of data and any number of records. It's free for testing and development and provides the same set of capabilities like the standard sort component, and yet it does so much more. It's not limited by the amount of available RAM, also can accept multiple inputs, and all processing is done in parallel, using a configurable number of threads. COZYROC's Sort Plus provides optimal utilization of your server's resources, sorting very large amounts of data in a reasonable time. Download the Sort Plus component now. COZYROC SSIS Plus is free for testing and development within Visual Studio.
Now we'll open up the editor for Dataflow Task Plus, and we need to enable the dynamic capabilities for the source and the destination. And then I'll click up here on Expand Options, and here are the 2 properties we need to change. So we'll change is column width variable to true, and then we need to select the name of the variable that I already set up. So it's column width variable, column width var. And then this one is column count variable is also going to be true because we have the count of columns in there. And that one's columns count var. Click OK. Going to right mouse click on the component and go to properties, so that delay validation, we need to set that to true. And we'll execute it. And it was successful. I'll stop debugging and we'll go over to Management Studio. And this is the table that we used for this run, and you can see all the data got copied over. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow us on social media, here's how you can do that.